The president wants people to obey. He wants people to use the words he chooses. He wants people to fall in line, and if they don't, they lose their access. They're not allowed to be in the company of the president. Notably,
peace, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Only News and Entertainment Network. Abby Phillips and her panel are having a discussion about Trump, who barred reporters from the Oval because they won't say Gulf of America. And so we have a rather robust panel here, and I love Ana Navarro. Ana Navarro is clashing with one of the Trump supporters here on the show, but you have to be a moron to be calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America when for over 400 years it's been the Gulf of Mexico. And because you don't say the Gulf of America, you're being barred from the Oval Office and different press conferences. Anyway, guys, let's get into it.
the president wants people to obey. He wants people to use the words he chooses. He wants people to fall in line, and if they don't, they lose their access. They're not allowed to be in the company of the president. Notably, in the last 2 days, when the AP reporters have been blocked, in one case I'm told physically blocked from entering the Oval Office, the photographer was still allowed in, the AP photographer, right? Because the president still wants his photo taken.
Pictures, just
he wants
not
the pictures, but not the words. This is a First Amendment violation, and I expect in the next few days the AP will file suit, and they have a very strong case in court. This is yet another example where the courts will be the recourse for presidential action.
Right, and what are the other media outlets doing?
Right now,
Yeah.
they're still showing up, they're still asking questions, but that's right, the Correspondents Association has condemned this and called it unacceptable. I think you're suggesting maybe reporters should, what, skip the briefing?
Should band together, because, I mean, listen, if the bully manages to bully one, he's not going to stop at one.
I don't think this is as emotional as you're making it out to be. You know, take away the hysteria for a moment. First off, Trump doesn't need
Who's
AP
being
to
hysterical?
Both of you. Trump doesn't need, first of all, AP
You
to
obviously
take
don't know what a hysterical Ana Navarro is
I
like.
just believe it comes down to compliance.
That's true,
Trump put out an executive order. There was an executive order. He changed the name legally to Gulf of America. They're United States-based. I know they're international as well, but right now they're covering U.S. politics. So if he makes an executive order, they should respect that. And if they don't, being there is not a right. It's a privilege.
So I'm going to add in here, though, that this has been called the Gulf of Mexico for 400 years, and every other nation calls it the Gulf of Mexico. So just because Trump claims that we need to...
States.
Okay, but doesn't this feel like a really weird, like, wokeism thing on the right? Like, it feels like the right's version of, like, Latinx or, like, birthing person. It just feels like a really weird hill to die on.
Nobody, by the way, just to be clear, nobody had to comply with any of that.
Yeah, if the Biden
administration
did that,
and if they did,
I would be up in arms.
Heads would be exploding at this table.
They should adopt the Prince method. Just have a little symbol called the Gulf, formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico, which should now be called whatever the hell.
There's a much broader.
The Gulf of whatever the hell he wants.
But there's a much broader danger. Today it's the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America. Tomorrow, what is it?
I agree with Ana Navarro. The press should just boycott going to these press briefings, band together, and say, F you, Trump. If you don't want one of us there, then we all won't be there. That'll put an end to that BS. Just like I said in other videos that I've done about Trump and his tariffs. If Mexico, Canada, and China, if they just all said, F you, Trump, okay, we'll just trade with each other instead of America. America will be brought to its knees. But let's get back to this.
Let me read their explanation for why they are not doing it. Essentially, they are saying that the Trump's order only carries authority within the United States. Mexico, as well as other countries and international bodies, do not have to recognize that name change. The Gulf of Mexico has carried that name for 400 years, as was said at the table, and the Associated Press is going to refer to it by its original name, while acknowledging that Trump has a new name that he would like to call it. They are an international organization. No one except Trump with a pen has said that it's the Gulf of America. It's a body of water that also has borders with another country, and it's been named that for 400 years.
I know, but we have a...
Trump and his sycophant followers will probably be the only ones calling it the Gulf of America. the world calls it the Gulf of Mexico, and it will always be known as the Gulf of Mexico, just because Trump, the moron, signs an executive order, not a law, an executive order to name it Gulf of America. It really means nothing. Let's get back to it.
Donald Trump picked a fight with the news organization.
No, they're not calling it by the name.
No,
That's the
news organization can do whatever they want. If they want to call it the Gulf of South America, they can call it
but
that.
why would I respect
Trump
a news
doesn't-
organization that
Yeah,
doesn't deal in reality?
but
It's
you don't
actually
have
false
to. But
information if to not call it what
they
it
can
is.
call it whatever they want because there's free speech in this country. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, but that, in my opinion, if you're not willing to call something by the proper name based on the laws of the United States, that calls into question your judgment. And are you a news organization?
By the way, there are no laws in play here. It's an executive order, and the body of water is not named by the United States. It's named by global organizations that name global landmarks. It's not their law.
So you don't respect Donald Trump's executive order or the Secretary of the Interior's process on this either.
Donald Trump had an executive order, but the Associated Press is not bound.
Hey, Scott, I'll answer the question for you because Abby Phillips, she can't answer it. No, we do not respect Trump. We do not respect Trump's changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And no, we do not respect his executive order. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this. I want to thank you all for coming back to the Black Only News and Entertainment Network. Peace, everybody. Take care and be safe.